Hey guys, we're in front of our K8 3D printer today, and this thing is synonymous for printing 3D letters and 3D channel letters. But however, it can be used for so much more and print so much more than it actually is intended for. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be printing replacement parts and upgrades specifically meant for this printer, and that is our filament guard over here and the filament holder back here as well. And we're going to be doing that today and showing you exactly how to do it. Okay, so we're here at our computer, and we first need to go ahead and go to AM.CO and go to the 3D printer section, and you can go ahead and copy the URL at the top there. But once you're there, we can have a look, and we've got the two objects that we're going to print here today. Now we just want the STL files, not the object file. So we'll go ahead and download these two, and then once you've got them downloaded, we can then go and open them in the Cura program that we have been using. And if you want to, in a previous video, we have shown how to set this up and how to get this far as well. So now that we're here, we can go ahead and just open our first one that we have saved. Okay, so here's the first one opened. Now, as you can see, it's got the checkered lines. Now that means it's just rather too big for our actual bed. So we can go ahead and we can rotate it and get it flat. Because once we've got it flat, then we can have a look to see if it's going to fit in our printer. And we can go ahead and say snap flat. And once that's done, we'll have a look. Okay, so having a look at this, we can see that it is too large for our printer bed in height. And as I said, that we have only got to 80 millimeters in height to print this. So what we need to do is, and I'm going to show you a quick way to halve this object exactly so that you can print two and next to each other, and then we can glue these together. Because we don't want to use any other printer, we're going to use our own printer to fix this. Then we need to chop this in half, which is not too much of a problem. And all we do is we go back to our select here, and then we can go down and make it half by just moving it. Now, if you know already the exact height of this object, then you can go ahead and cut it in half, knowing exact height. So 105, we'll just do a quick rough calculation. 105 divided by 2. That gives me 52.5 millimeters. So all we need to do is, I'll put that calculator down. We go to our select chair again, and we can mess with our Z axis here. And we can go 52.5 and enter that. And as you see, it pushed it up. So now we need to go the opposite way. So we'll just go ahead and put a minus in front of that 52.5, and we push enter, and you can see that's exactly half of the object. So now we know we can leave that one there, and we can right click and say multiple select, and we can click 2 so that we can add another piece. Oops, we only needed one more, sorry. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we can do is go ahead and reverse the same process. So we go ahead and we go to our rotate tool, and we're going to rotate this so that we have only half sticking out. And I know what you're thinking, this is not going to work, which is fine. The best way to do this is, without using another program, is just to rotate these and have them printed like this. And then what we'll do is print supports. Or what we can do is go to a program called Tinkercad and cut it in half and save two separate pieces. So if you don't have the option to do Tinkercad, then this is the way that you're going to do it. And all you're going to do is go ahead and add a support. And I've shown you how to do that in the previous video, so that you can then print it as it is like this, and then you just glue these two parts together. However, I want to cut these properly and have two different saved files so that we can turn the second piece flat, so we don't have to print supports, so we do not have to waste plastic. So we're going to quickly go to Tinkercad and do that, and then import those files, save it to print, and head on over to our printer. So go ahead and open Google, open a new tab, and we go to Tinkercad. And you can make a profile for free. There is no payment needed. We could just go ahead and create a new document, and we're going to do a 3D design. Okay, so now that we've renamed it, we'll zoom out. I'm going to go ahead and select the snap grid off, so I've got more maneuverability on the actual board itself. So now that we're here, we can go ahead and import our first file that we need. Okay, so here it is here. It's now open, and the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and select it, and then I'm going to just rotate it flat 90 degrees, and I also want it flat on the bed. So we go ahead and push 0 there, and we can zoom in and have a look. It is 100% flat. Okay, so now earlier we had mentioned the height that we need to cut this thing in half exactly. So either you can cut it in half exactly, or what we can do to speed up time is to cut it level with this top piece here instead of somewhere up here. So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and grab a see-through square. We'll make that bigger in a second. What we're going to need to do is duplicate our part here so that we've got 2 of them, and you'll see in a moment why. So now that I've got 2, we can go ahead and we're going to make this block much larger so it's the same size as our part. And then, like I said, we're going to only cut it just above this line here, so about there. We're going to go ahead and cut that. And then what we'll do is, again, we'll duplicate this piece here as well. Make sure we've got 2, put that over there. And then we select the 2 that we have and we group them, and you'll see it will then go ahead and cut that object clean there. So now we're going to take our second block and we just move it, and we have it just above this line like we had before, except I'm not cutting the bottom out, we're going to cut the top off. So we've got 2 pieces. Go ahead and select them, group them, and then once that's finished, we should have 2 separate pieces that we can print at the same time within our printer's bed and be able to glue these together so that it still is a working part. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm just going to move these next to each other like so we don't waste too much space. And now you can either select this and export them separately as 2 parts, or you can select both of them and say export as an STL, because that's the file type that we need. This might take a few seconds or a few minutes depending on the speed of your internet. So now that that's done, we can head over to our Cura program and we can select these 2 and delete them. We can then go and open the one that we have just done, and there you go. So now that's cut properly and it's going to print hopefully properly as well. Now everywhere that you see that's got the red, that will need a support if you want it to print crisp and perfect without any of these sagging or falling. So the best thing here is to add a support, and it's the only thing I recommend when printing these overhangs as they are called. So we'll go to support and we generate a support. The next thing we need to do is select how much of an angle we have to support. So I'm going to choose 65 degrees. Then we say touching build plate, because I only want to touch the build plate, and we want a tree, and I'm going to put an indensity of 1%, and we leave that as is then. And now from that we can just go ahead and push slice, and we'll see the supports will make a big difference in preventing any of that plastic from sagging as it prints, because there's nothing holding it up in midair. Okay, and there we've got it. So now we have got our supports that are going to support these letters, and we've got everywhere else that also needs the supports, like here. And for our holes, we need those supports there, just so that we can keep the shape and nothing droops down. So now all we need to do is go ahead and save this to our memory stick, and then we can push print. Alright, so now I've showed you how to do that with the filament guard. Now you just need to repeat the same process with our filament holder, and that's just so that you can either cut it in half if it's too tall, and you've got 2 ways of doing it. So just choose which one you want. Once you've gone ahead and done that, sliced it, added it to memory stick, and then we can go straight to print. So I estimate that these parts are going to take between 10 and 12 hours, and then we're going to let that run overnight and see what happens. If you're wanting to see more about 3D printing in general, we have done quite a few videos on the YouTube channel Achievement Matters. Just go on over there and you can see settings, actual printing, and how to use these 3D printers in general. Now, if you want to see more things like this, I suggest that you go and subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can get notified on future videos. Once this is finished printing, we're going to go ahead and sand it down, clean it, give it a bit of a TLC, then we're going to glue it and get ready to put it on the printer. Now that these parts are finished printing, all we need to do is take them off the printer, take some sandpaper the area that we are going to glue the two pieces together. Once you finish sanding, give it a good clean with some water and sunlight soap and a cloth, wait for it to dry. Then I'm going to hit it with a little blowtorch just to warm up the plastic surface. We're going to add some gel super glue, and that's very important because we want the gel to fill in all the cracks, so when it dries it actually adheres to the surface. Make sure that we put enough everywhere so that it spreads evenly. Once that's done, we're going to line it up, and then we're going to take this clamp and clamp it to the table and wait for it to dry. So these parts are finished printing and I'm really happy with them. This one is going to go over there to the back. All you need to do is unscrew the screws, slide that one off, slide this one on, and put the sensors back, and then you're completely done with the back there. And as for the front, this one here, same thing happens. We're going to unscrew the screws, slide the old one off, slide the new one on, put the screws back, and now you've got a finished piece that looks really cool. There you have it, guys. You've got some really cool 3D printed parts, and again, this was printed with your own machine, which is really something cool. Not so many people can do that. Now you also have a choice of so many different colors that are available at AM. So I suggest you go have a look at them because some of them are really cool. And again, thank you for watching.
AI may eventually take over, but what's for certain is that smart machines are already operating all over the world right now. So stay ahead with AM.CO.za. For 11 years, they've been the leader in CNC and printing machines like CNC routers, large format printers, vinyl cutters, laser cutters, plasma cutters, DTF printers, and many more. Visit AM.CO.za showrooms in Sunny Rock, Joburg, and Montague Gardens, Cape Town, or WhatsApp hi to 060 600 6000 for more. AM.CO.za, Achievement Matters.